Welcome to the new Overlords Podcast, where we talk about cool video game news and what we've been playing. I'm Max, and with me to talk about SWTOR Chains in the Dark is someone who is off the chain, my co-host Sema. Hello there, Sema.
Hi, Max. I did not know I was off the chain. I thought I was still on the chain.
You are off the leash, off the chain, all of everything.
My bonds have been broken.
Your chains have been broken. Also with us is someone who always delivers. It's Stask.
Hello.
My tagline for Stask.
Hey, Stask.
And if you know, you know. Yeah, hey Stask, how's it going?
Great. How are you guys?
Good. So we're gonna talk about the news in just a second, but Stask, so we don't forget, and we'll talk about it at the end and put a link somewhere. You've started streaming, haven't you?
Yes, I did a couple weeks ago. I'm on Twitch at Stask27.
Stask27. 2027. So Stask27, everybody like and subscribe.
I mean, I followed Stask somebody. I hope it was the right.
Probably not.
26, 28, nope, 27. Yeah, so that is fun. And you were also on the AIE podcast on Sunday talking all about Star Wars The Old Republic, of some of the things we'll talk about today as well. But we're mostly talking about the expansion today and some other game news and things that we've played. Why don't we get right into that game news?
Good news, everyone.
First up in the news, I think this is quite the hot topic in game news and the world of gaming is GTA 6, right? So their trailer came out this week, and it's pretty slick looking trailer. Everybody's all excited. Everybody's excited about GTA 6 because GTA 5 has been out there for years now. What, 8 years, something like that. And even to this day, it's month to month. It's one of the top selling games. And Stask, you had a good reason as to why, which was, because they keep making 13-year-old boys. Is that what?
Yes, there's always 13-year-old boys.
They keep getting invented. New ones keep taking their place as the old ones age out. Sema, you also had comments on this. What was your point?
Having never played GTA, maybe I'm not qualified to say this, but I watched the trailer for GTA 6. And like many games, it looks fantastic. But the trailer that I watched didn't really show you anything about gameplay or how you play the game or why it would be different from GTA 5. Why? I assume you have to buy it, right? So why would you buy GTA 6? I mean, there probably is a reason. I just don't know from that trailer why you would buy GTA 6 over GTA 5, especially when, like you say, GTA 5 is pumping the cash in for them already. So
right.
They must have gone through some decision making to decide to do a GTA 6.
The trailer, I think that's a great point, because the trailer is just a cinematic. It's this big cinematic, and it shows a couple of the characters. I think it shows the player character and then another
It looks fantastic, but like many games.
Yeah. But it doesn't show a game at all. There's no game. It shows. This all could be, live in engine or whatever. It's not that. It's the fact that there's no. What do you do? What are the mechanics? What is anything different? We imagine it's probably like all the things that we're doing in the other GTA games.
Well, if they leave it up to my imagination, then yes, I assume it's all the same as GTA 5.
But maybe it is, maybe it isn't. They don't show any of that. So they're not showing you a game here. They're showing you pretty graphics and cinematic, and might as well be a trailer for a TV series or a movie. Something something you would passively consume.
Graphics. Yeah, like if you watch the trailer, it's amazing graphics. But so was Cyberpunk 2077, and we're going to talk about Avatar in a minute. Also fantastic looking.
I tend, and when I pick trailers to show for a game that we're actually going to talk about, or there's news, I pick gameplay trailers, and this is not a gameplay trailer, because I agree, a cinematic trailer, a teaser trailer, shows you nothing and is not what we care about. It's not the game. So we'll see. I imagine it's, Rockstar does really good job. Forrester says it's made $8 billion over the years, which I guess I could imagine. So if they if they've got the money to spend, might as well make another one. But we'll get into some of the questions about when you should make a sequel to your game when we talk about Stormgate and StarCraft in just a second too. Well, I guess let's get to that. So
I mean, the most interesting thing to me is the gator in the pool and the gator coming into the convenience store.
well, there's a whole bunch of Florida Man references.
Yeah, I have a lot of
Yeah.
questions about some of the other stuff that going on in that trailer.
Well-
the lady with the 2 hammers, for example.
Well, that's actually that's
It's her
a thing
story.
that's ripped from the headlines. That woman existed in a Florida Man basically
Okay.
police report. So some of this stuff is like memes from Florida Man. Does everybody know out there why Florida
I
Man
do.
is a thing?
I
Yeah,
do.
so why don't you explain it? See, because a lot
And
of
this
people
is
don't.
true
They think
because
that
I read it on
Florida
the
is- They
internet.
think that Florida is weird and completely broken, but yeah, why
It's
is Florida
because
a thing?
because of Florida, there's a law that says the police has to make those things public. Their police reports are
Right.
public. So I'm pretty sure that all the things that happen in Florida have happened in every state. It's just not every state has this kind
Yes.
of rule. So like journalists and people who are combing for the weird stories, they find the Florida ones and nobody else's. However, I have to say probably they don't have the same alligator one related ones in other states.
Alligator or bass salts. I haven't heard bass salt
Yeah,
incidents in an uptake.
well, that happened all over the place, but yeah, alligators, raccoons, bears. You'll have different things in different areas of the country. So, should you make a sequel to your game? This next story, I think, is interesting in 2 ways. So, first off, the main part of the story is Stormgate. There's this new RTS coming in 2024. It's called Stormgate. There's a closed beta that's starting like now or this week. I'll probably sign up for it. I really like StarCraft, and the point of this was some people that had worked at other major AAA game companies, including some people that have worked on StarCraft 2, came over. They said it's time for a new RTS, and Blizzard isn't doing enough with StarCraft, so we're gonna build Stormgate, and Stormgate's gonna be a new RTS. Cool. There was also discussion, and it came up in an interview with Mike Ibarra, and Mike Ibarra's comments on StarCraft were, "Why haven't you done anything else with StarCraft?" And he said, "No one else has come to me with the right pitch yet." I was listening to another podcast I like, Core, one of Scott Johnson's, a friend, our pal of AIE, Scott Johnson. But one of the things that they were saying there, I think Bo was saying, "Hey, you got to just do it. What is your guys' problem? It's been years and years now. You just need to bite the bullet and do a StarCraft 3." I'm on Mike Ibarra's side here. You can't just do a sequel unless you do have the right idea, the right pitch, something to make it a sequel, something to make it a next version.
I mean,
Just-
something for the reason of putting all those years and resources into it.
Especially with something as beloved as StarCraft 2 that is still one of the top pro ESL esports in the world, is based on StarCraft 2 still currently. If you just make another game, even if it seems really good and you had some good ideas on how you wanted to tweak it and stretch out the end game, you get Diablo 4, which in my view is still a 9 out of 10 game. But how many people out there, what percentage of the gamers, nobody hates games like gamers, hate Diablo 4 because it's not Diablo 3? So not only did they have this brilliant, cool new story with, I think, one of the most amazing new villains of gaming, Lilith, who's just rendered so beautifully, in both from a narrative perspective and from a graphical perspective. And they tried to make some changes to the game to tweak and streamline how it would play, stretch out the end game, make it more about the journey. Everybody, quote unquote everybody, but the hardcore gamers seem to hate that and say it's not as good as Diablo 3. So they even had the pitch. They made the game. They did all this investment, and everybody's saying, "Why didn't you just stick with just do expansions to StarCraft to Diablo 3?" That's why they can't do a StarCraft 3 without the right vision. So I'm with Mike Ibarra on that one.
And maybe this Stormgate does have a vision.
Right. Their vision could be we just want to make our own RTS, and maybe it's exactly like StarCraft 2, but it's it's different graphics and different characters. And
It certainly looks. I like the look of the art, but it looks very close to WoW and Overwatch and.
Yep. Yeah. And with an RTS, it's a little
different because you
because you're zoomed way out.
right.
So your characters need to have like the silhouettes from far away that make sense and something that you can engage with, and the maps need to be more about almost less about the graphics than as it is about the pieces on the board.
Right, providing interest to the gameplay.
Right. Let's see what else is up in the news. I thought this was interesting, and get your guys' take on this. It seems like this idea of crossovers in video games is getting really hot, and I'm seeing it more and more. And this latest one is Vampire Survivors is doing a crossover with Among Us, and the two dev teams are coming together to do this sort of crossover and DLC for Vampire Survivors that gives it an Among Us mode. Final Fantasy put Fall Guys into their game. I think we're seeing
This seems different to me, though. If they're actually bringing the two dev teams together. With
Final Fantasy, it was at least the marketing teams got together, and it was a collaboration. But this, I think, goes further. You're right. It seems like this is the two dev teams putting a game mode into the game. I don't know what I'm playing here, but that's not what I'm.
Yeah, I was wondering when the Among Us comes in.
Yeah, I don't know what
this game
ad. No, it says reveal trailer.
It feels like kind of a natural progression because since I'm a WoW player and a Star Wars The Old Republic player, those games have been taking like features from other games. I mean, that's a tried and true strategy or tactic, I guess it's more like. But this is like a step beyond that. I like it.
You get games like Fortnite, which have been taking interesting IP and brands and injecting it into their game, and they have to license that stuff.
Like the Lego Fortnite.
Lego, Star Wars, ton of Star Wars stuff. Hey, we got the Palpatine Returns message that was only in Fortnite. Everybody really liked that, didn't they? I did not. But yeah, so I think this is an evolution to that, and we'll probably see more of it. Something to keep an eye on. I thought it was fun. Something else that I've been keeping an eye on, but nobody else in the gaming industry has, which is launching tomorrow. And I keep coming back to this in our news items. Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora is launching tomorrow. And do you guys hear anybody talking about it?
Just you. Yeah, just you.
Just me. Ubisoft has probably spent, at least $100 million on this game. Avatar 2 Frontiers. Yeah, Frontiers of Pandora. I've seen gameplay trailers. I've seen so the videos are starting to come out. They must be out of embargo. I think this looks really interesting to me. I'm excited for this game. There's a little bit of survival elements. I really like what they've done with the world. I like these kinds of worlds where it's bright and interesting and vibrant and alive. Well, this part's not. Yeah, like here when you're out in it's like in some underground tunnel. That world, when you're out there in the jungle, it just looks so bright and vibrant. This is one of the reasons I like the setting for Ark as opposed to Tarkov or Rust. That bright, vibrant Unreal 5. This isn't Unreal, but that Unreal 5 level quality and graphics. I'm looking forward to it. I want to see what they do. I think Ubisoft is a good studio as well from a quality and execution perspective. They've certainly had their problems, as a lot of the AAA studios have in the past few years. But as Forrester says, launching on the day of the Game Awards is an interesting choice. I don't think they could have launched sooner. I think they've been doing a lot of polishing and updating to this game, or maybe they're not confident. I think it is interesting that it won't even be considered for a game award or game of the year kind of thing, which is weird considering it could be, but nobody cares. Maybe because it's Ubisoft or because it's too. It's almost like when the brands are too big. It's Avatar and Ubisoft, and we don't like that anymore. We need smaller things to sink our teeth into, and that's, Larian is small in Baldur's Gate, and I don't know. So it's little tiny
So will they be
companies like
considered for
Nintendo.
awards in 2024 then, because of being released in late 2023?
I don't know. I don't know how the game awards work. I would think it would. It should.
I
But
mean,
that
in
would
which
be
case they might
fair.
be thinking they know it's going to be a slow burn, and they're hoping that
Maybe.
it's a slow burn instead of a slow, non-burn.
Yeah. Look, see, there's like the gather. This feels a little survival-y. You gotta like gather
Yeah,
materials.
they're
and you gotta-
gathering. Yeah, I noticed that.
I gotta do that. Is that a third-person view? We
It's-
only have a first.
I hope so. I don't like the only hands view.
Everybody subscribe to Sema's Only Hands channel.
So milky white,
Uh,
soft hands.
hand model like David Duchovny in Zoolander. That's gonna be Sema's Only Hands channel.
Yeah.
It's
Or
a
George
whole new
Costanza.
genre that Sema's inventing. Only Hands. All right. So a couple good things. That does remind me, I did put it in the news, but I also saw, and maybe we'll get this into the news list next week if I can nail down when it is, Horizon Zero Dawn new
Oh.
Forbidden West is coming to PC finally. I think that's been announced. I don't know when it is. It still may not be till 2024, but that's another one I really like, and that gets ignored because I think it's too big and it's too AAA. I really like the Horizon series. I think Aloy is a great character. It's both good story and these brilliant, vibrant worlds, and that's got dinosaurs. Well, it's got robot dinosaurs in it, so
So it's
No,
not just
that's-
AAA anymore. It's like 2 AAA.
right.
So it's like sextuple A.
Right. Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe it's 4A and that's just right out. 'Cause 3 is the number, and the number's 3, 4 is right out. And they're going to 4A. Okay. This podcast is brought to you by all of you. We really appreciate everybody's support. Your listens and views on audio and on YouTube really make a difference for us, and that's what really keeps us going. Big thanks to the chat room here live during the recording as well. Great source of inspiration and amusement. You can get the links to everything that we do, including some surprises that might be coming up in the next week. Keep an eye out. You can get the links to all of that stuff, including our Discord in particular, at newoverlords.com. This podcast is also brought to you by the Alea Iacta Est Guild, a big family-friendly gaming community across many, many guilds and many, many games, and more guilds springing up every single day. I think I just saw a new one coming up for Arclight Rumble because we're filling up. I think we filled up 3 already. I did play some Arclight
Warcraft
Rumble this
Rumble.
week. I'll mention later.
Warcraft Rumble.
They don't call it Arclight anymore. That's right. Warcraft Rumble. And all of those guilds, you can find the information for Alea Iacta Est at aie-guild.org. Jump in our Discord, Starforge, and Shea Vizsla. We have Star Wars guilds. We'll talk about that coming up as well. You can find us there. All right.
Bet you didn't see this coming!
7.4 dropped this week. 7.4 Chains in the Dark. Star Wars The Old Republic, Chains in the Dark. You both, this is relevant to your interest, is it not? You both been in there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Once.
So
It's
we're
relevant
gonna,
to your interest too. I was like trying to think, how is it different? No, okay, I get what you're
so
saying.
this is the root of where the 3 of us spend a lot of our time. Stask is another leader in our gaming community around Star Wars The Old Republic. Stask houses the PvP nights, and the Wednesdays and Fridays is a lot of what you run these days. How's that stuff going?
Yeah, good. We're doing some progress in the PvP season, working towards those armor sets and just having a good time. Um, I don't think I've mentioned it to you guys before, but there was a week where we had too many people in our group, so we kind of split up and solo queued. I think Quinn can verify this here. I think we had like 5 different matches, like our people went into going on
Nice.
simultaneously, which is,
Oh,
I mean, when we queued as a group, you don't think what else is going on. Um, but yeah, to see like we all got pops and we got thrown in like 5 or 6 different matches at the same time, which really surprised me that there were that many instances going to PvP. But it's
Did
pretty
you
cool.
end
right.
up fighting against each other in any instances?
I don't think so. I think we all got into separate matches.
Oh, I wouldn't have expected that.
Yeah, neither did any of us. We were all kind of talking about what we were in, and I was like, wait a second, there's 6 different matches going on at the same time. So
One of
pretty
the
cool.
things that they did is they did some tweaking where if you queue as a group, they try to match you with other groups. And then there's a
Mhm.
timer where if the groups don't match up, like there's not another group ready to go, it will time out and put you against other random people. But that could make it, if most of the people are single queuing, it could make it much quicker to single queue, and it could hide the fact, if you're queuing as a group, that there is like queues are just like popping all the time. There's tons of games going on, but you're looking for group games, which are fewer. Yeah, that's interesting. With the
Yeah,
I
seasons,
mean, it also tells me that some of the changes that they've made to improve the queue have been getting some traction,
I
Right.
think so. And
at
the
least during
season,
prime
and the way
time.
seasons
Yeah,
work, and the
and seasons.
objectives,
Yeah,
and what Stask and Machete are doing on Wednesday night. I
Yep.
think that's a big driver as well. It's that
Yeah,
word is out
yeah.
there.
That's they're
Definitely
all out
for
there
us
looking
is.
for us.
I think that's it. They're gunning for you. Everybody's
Yeah,
logging in
yeah,
on
they're coming
Wednesday.
for us. Yeah,
Oh, those guys are going to be out there again on Wednesday. They're having
they're
like
putting our place.
meetings earlier in the week. All right, SWTOR community. I heard those AIE guys, Stask and Machete, are out there on Wednesday. Are we all going to
Yep.
be logging on? Yeah.
There's bounties out there for us.
But 7.4 did drop. A lot going on in 7.4. Let me go back to that post there. We'll name these things. We'll give a little bit of our overview. We won't get into spoilers. I mean, if you want zero spoilers, like I can't even like name a character that shows up. We'll get to that because we're going to do that. But we're not going to spoil any story points. We're not going to do any of that at this point. So you're pretty safe. But if you're hardcore that you can't hear anything, like including all the things that they already talked about in the dev streams, well, we'll go that far. So what did we get? We got the story. We got Kessen's Landing, which is Ord Mantell, and that's where I showed that we were. We'll run around there in a second here. That we're hanging out there. I like that. So let me get your broad take on a couple of these things as we go, and I'll give you mine as well. So I've played through the entire story so far, the main story. There's also the Lane Vizsla story, which I've only done half of.
Does that like I haven't started that part of the story? Does that take place all on Runic, or is that a spoiler?
She's sending me somewhere. I think she sends you off of Runic, but I forgot. In fact, I might even be able to just see it here.
So my broad take on this area, and I haven't started any of the dailies yet, but I have high hopes that they'll be the kind of dailies that I like. But my first reaction to it is, having started new characters recently, especially with Shea Vizsla, the new server, is it really highlights the difference between what they're creating now and what they created in the beginning.
The
Like
city,
if you
the
go
town.
if you go to Ord Mantell, the starting area, it's
Yeah.
not as rich as this. It doesn't have the same textures. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's not the same at all, which is fine. This is a different area. It doesn't have to match it exactly, but it's cool.
It is. It's very cool. And it's you're right, it's rich. I think what they've been able to do is they've been able to take a whole bunch of assets, even if they're reusing assets, they're able to take a whole bunch of assets that they've developed in a whole bunch of other areas, like even off of like Maksha collect up a bunch of those to create new and interesting town. Like in this case, it's a backwater outpost on Ord Mantell with the volcano in the background. So that mix of the landscape with this relatively alive feeling outpost, you're right, I think is really good. And I like.
But then even Ord Mantell, the starter zone, has a volcano in the background, but you don't see
Yeah,
it.
you're true. You don't. It's not as. I mean, like this, it like looms.
Yeah.
It looms in a really interesting way. You're right. It's like there. It's got a
It's
very
not the same
Pompeii feel to
volcano,
it.
is it?
What's that?
That's not the same volcano. That's not the mountain, is it?
No, I think it's
A
a different
different volcano?
volcano.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think we're on a different side of the planet. But yeah, so it's rendered well in that way. I think it's really really cool. Oh look, we got a raid from Kitty Kisses. Those guys are awesome.
Oh, Kitty, thanks.
Kitty,
Hello, everyone.
you are super cool. We're in the middle of our podcast here, but we're gonna keep on keeping on. So yeah, you're right. I really like the town in particular. The rest of the outside the town, it's kind of barren and rocky, but I still like it. I like the volcano-y. It is dark. It's not as. It's always night here, so you don't get like a daytime view. So what about you, Stask?
It's all
like
the ash in the air.
what do you
Yeah,
call me?
it's ash. It's tough to breathe. It's a little thick. Looking at the volcano, you can the lava's flowing. You can see the smoke
Smoke
booming.
coming off
It's
of it.
really
And when you are driving around the landscape, even though it's barren and rocky, you do get to like the lava flows and places that you can't go in where there's bad lava that will kill you, which I still walked into a bunch of times because why not? So yeah, are you having? I mean, what's your overall? Where would you? Okay, hot take. Where would you rank this? Or how many stars would you give it? Or how many points?
Are we
out of
doing
10?
a tier list?
Yeah, tier list.
Tier.
Where would
I
you
would-
put Keslin's Landing?
I'd give it an A. I
Yeah,
don't know if I'd make it quite an S, but
it might be because it's a little bit new and it's a honeymoon period as well. But I'd make this an A tier.
yeah.
What about you, Sema?
I feel like this is a trick question, but
Okay.
because
We're not going to hold
whatever
you to
rating I do, you just get mad at me.
it.
but,
I do with the tier list. Yes,
I do like it, and I
because you make everything S tier. You can't have 100% of everything be S tier. Well,
see.
you
I
can.
haven't even said yet, and you're already. Okay, I have a feeling about this area that I like slightly better than Runic, and I really like Runic. And I think it's that I just feel like it's easier to get around, maybe. I don't know.
It's a
Well, I'll
little
have
bit.
to know
It's
when I've
definitely
been here for a
tighter.
while.
It's tighter and smaller for sure.
Or it's more obvious where to go or something. We'll see. We'll see. I have to.
Runic is a little bit of a maze,
Yeah.
but I think this has the benefit. I think
But
the city itself, the town itself, is a little bit of a maze,
yeah.
which I
Yeah.
like. It makes it feel like a backwater outpost, like a warren of.
It's sort of
shops and
how
stalls and
the city
buildings.
is in Onderon. I mean, it's like it is a bit of a maze, but the map makes it really clear where the passageways are.
Right. True. And you're not. I never felt like I was getting lost.
Right.
And
And-
Alt M, bringing up my little overlay mini map. Love it.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm comparing it to well, since I've been playing on Shea Vizsla, I've been spending time on Terrace, for instance, and Balmora with beginner characters who have cooldowns on quick travel. It's making me understand that those kinds of worlds are actually way harder for me to navigate and get around and get to places where I can see them on the map, but I can't get there from here, than a place like Corellia, where it's also difficult, but at least you can zoom in on the map and you can see a road that will get you there.
Right.
But Balmora
Right.
is just like, nope, this mountain's in the way.
Yeah.
You went around the wrong
Yeah.
mountain. Now there's
Yep.
2 mountains in the way.
Or terrace, which is terrible for
Yep.
that.
Broken ship in the way.
Oh,
Yep. How do you get to that 1 inch left on the map? Well, you go right around the planet, the opposite direction.
Oh, sorry. Wrong right. Go back to where you were. Go the
First
other
go to
way.
Hoth. Then
Yeah.
it's like, come on, guys, it's right there. Can't I just take a left? All right, so Kessen's Landing, I agree. The landscape looks great. Story, so of their highlight list here, I'm back on their list. Story, I thought the story was good. There is a fair amount of the story. I didn't finish adding it up, but it's probably a couple hours. I would think, because I was up to almost an hour and 20 minutes, an hour and a half before I came back today to finish recording it. So that was with a casual playthrough. So a couple hours of story. Again, no spoilers, but little overview spoiler. It doesn't push the story ahead. It doesn't answer enough questions. It does move the arc ahead, though, and I liked that. We got to bring in some of the characters that we wanted to hear more from. We got introduced to some new characters, some side characters that you just sort of get to fight along the way, like mini bosses, like Cantus Braylor, who seem you hate for now.
I
right?
don't like him.
Just one of the people you need to
It's
sort of
my
need to
own
fight
fault
around with.
too, because I run around in my healing spec and I shouldn't do that.
Right, because there are a couple fights that you have to
Like
do
if I
to
was
be-
in a DPS spec and my companion was healing, it would have been fine.
Right.
But since my companion was DPS, that just introduces another raft of problems.
right.
So if there's any kind of moving around and stuff, the companion just dies. And then I don't have any DPS, that many
Right.
DPS. Like I don't have tracer missile. I don't have the basics. I have a
Right.
few shots.
Paper
And
cuts from
my
above.
feet. I can run around.
You can run, and the Cantus Braylor fight in particular is interesting because you can't run too far
No,
because his
you get
his
pushed
bros
back. Yeah.
are doing.
It's kind of an ingenious fight. I want
Yeah.
to go back. Yeah.
It was a
another
little something different. I meant to look up the scene from Book of Boba Fett where Boba Fett and what's her name? Ming-Na Wen, her character.
Fennec Shand?
Fennec, yeah. Fennec and Boba are in town, and then there's the guys around them with the shields, and they're sort of like ringed in. That's the Cantus Braylor fight. So that's kind of cool. It's fun that they did that.
Right. And if you approach the guys with the shield, they knock you back towards the boss.
Right.
And then the
They
boss
keep
has a
going.
knockback too, so you could go bing bong, bing bong, bing bong the whole fight if you time it well.
Right. We hear a little bit more from Raz Ordo. So we saw Raz Ordo in the trailers. Raz has Riz. Raz is cool, isn't he? He's got
I like him. Yeah.
he's yeah, his dialogue is good. His banter.
I like both of them, him and his brother.
Jakaya is a good, like, strong, Mandalorian leader.
Yeah,
But-
I mean he's almost like he appeals to me the same way that Jace Malcolm did
Yeah, right.
before his
I
life
like-
was so tragically
I like
ended.
those senior characters. I like that we have and they should be
Yeah.
part of the universe. The Garzas, the people that have been around the block.
Well, now you're getting controversial.
Raz Ordo, though, he's cool. I like his banter. He says something funny. He's like, at some point you're like walking through and he's like, we got to find. I'm sure they've got some explosives laying around here that we could use to get along our way. And then you keep going, and this is just while you're playing. It's not like a cutscene, and you come upon the area where you got to click on the blue thing, and he goes. It didn't literally mean that they would have explosives laying around, but I guess pick that thing up. Because there it is. So
I guess they did.
thought that was good. I noticed in this story, there's a whole bunch of it's like little side characters that you come across, and they're expanding out on the accents. There's just like a 2-minute scene with a couple people you run across, and there's like a quite the Eastern European accent that comes across very interesting. Like Polish or Russian accent that is done really well. There's Thera Markon, who you meet up with. I
Who
think
I
we
didn't
met her in the
remember. I
past.
had to Google her.
Did you
Yeah.
Google her? Did you find out what her deal is?
She crops up in the Bounty Hunters class story.
Because I acted like I knew her. I took dialogue choices like,
Yes, I did too.
hey,
But then again, I'm a bounty hunter.
good to
so
see
I'm like,
you
oh
again.
yeah,
But that's how I
remember
operate in
you.
real life. So
You know who she is though? Her mother
hi.
is Crystal, who was the character
Oh.
in the class
Great
story
Hunt.
that helps the Great Hunt that mentors you through the Great Hunt.
Oh, Crystal
okay.
Markon. Okay, very
makes
very
sense.
cool. The two main side characters, the two main characters of this story, who I don't think will be going forward, but were fun, are Gizmalgam, who's like a smuggler type. I think is written well, and Petra, who I really liked as well. So we're not going to spoil too much of what goes on there, because I imagine also with choices, different things can happen for different people.
Did you say Gizmel?
Gizmal, Gizmal, Gizmalgam. Yeah, he's, my kind of scumbag. Not a what's his name? Not a Kai Zyken level meme-able character, but Gizmalgam is written pretty well. And then Petra is a cat girl.
Oh, is that who's on the loading screen art? Which, by the way, I love.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I should have brought that up. One thing I really liked on the loading screen, the new loading screen art as well, is little broadsword logo down in the lower left. Still
Yeah.
has EA as well, but I like that little broadsword. Yeah, the loading screen, new splash screen art is good. So yeah, Gizmalgam, and then yes, Petra, the cat girl, who is a good character and fun, and you end up playing alongside her for much of the story as it moves forward. On the Imperial side, you do get an Imperial representative that is with you for part of the story as well, and that's Krovos for me. It could be different for different people, again, because of choices, and it's most certainly different on the Republic side, and I haven't seen that yet, but I am a fan of Krovos, of those Sith that I can get along with. Darth Barris, no, negative, right out. Krovos,
Nobody likes Barris.
Darth Mar. I need my buddy Darth Mar. I could use Darth Mar back. Let's resurrect Darth Mar. Somehow Darth Mar returned.
How convenient.
But Krovos, I get along with.
I wouldn't mind a
like that.
Force Ghost companion.
Force Ghost from
Pretty
coast to
cool.
coast. Yes, I think that would be that. You're right. That would be cool. Like he uses like Force Ghost. Force.
And he would tell me like
abilities.
really wise things as we fight instead of saying,
Well, he kind of became Yoda-ish by the end there, didn't he? Him
Yeah.
and Satele Shan sitting around a campfire. I don't know. Him as
Would the Force Ghost companion be able to interact with anything though, or would they just be
With
like
the
whispering
Force?
in your ear?
why couldn't they force things?
Yeah,
do
they
a little
can.
force.
Have we ever seen a Force Ghost do Force things?
In my mind.
That's
Fair.
so. There's
That's
a good
fair.
question I think for the writing team and the narrative team is.
I mean, Darth
the-
Vader could force choke people through the internet.
right. Yeah, through the telephone.
What's he doing these days?
But they could invent something new. Why and why not? And I think that could provide a fun story elements that they could use in the future. Is why can't a Force Ghost? Don't the Force Ghosts like in the Dark Temple on Dromund Kaz like beat you up and hurt you? I think those guys
those-
can.
Are those Force Ghosts though?
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
in the same sense that Obi-Wan
Maybe
and
they were just
Qui-Gon are
real
Force
ghosts.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're evil Sith Force ghosts. I don't know, and you could get possessed. So maybe, here's what you do:
Oh yeah, Quinn.
as you're fighting, the first enemy you kill, Darth Mar force possesses the enemy and raises them up, and then they can like heal you and DPS.
Yeah, like your first kill of your game session you have to do by yourself,
Yeah.
and then I like that.
That would
All
be
right,
super
I'm
cool.
on board. Let's do it.
Good. Now that we've got Stask on board, we'll make it happen.
Yeah, there you go. Ooh, Force Ghosts.
I like it. Also, what else did we get? So here's a fun one. We got. I'm skipping. Oh, let's do the daily area. I'm skipping the world boss because I fought the world boss. I looked at the dailies. They look pretty cool. I didn't get too far. I didn't do them, but it looks like a good set of dailies. I think the the weekly for the dailies is like the daily is due 7, the weekly is due 10. There's a bunch on the board, and then there's a couple more scattered throughout the town. So where is it? It's back by the entrance. We can click on them and look it up. There's 3 heroic 2s, a heroic 4 to fight some droid, not the world boss droid. There is also the world boss as a weekly, and the world boss is pretty cool, but pretty simple, but also very Zerka-ish. We'll talk about him in a second. The freedom droid. But the rest of the dailies are like go out and do things, or there's some of those panther cats are around and you got to like figure out what's going on. You got to clean them up. And so there's a bunch of just the typical kind of dailies is what I found. Did you guys look into it too deeply? Did you find anything too interesting with the dailies?
I haven't gotten there yet. I'm like halfway through the story, so I haven't like looked at dailies at all yet.
And I know
I'll
like
give you an
SWTOR
update in the future.
SWTOR and everybody else, a couple of the content creators, they even have guides out for these kinds of things already. So here, like
that's
chain of
what I like to hear.
Chain of command. Locate the hidden chain leaders and destroy them. So go shoot a thing. Everything must go. Seize ammunition supply crates from separatists. Go shoot some people and get 7 things. So I think these are the scan the communication array, and there might be multiple steps to some of these.
I like shooting people.
Do you? That's good to know, Sema. I think.
Only with their hands, though.
Right.
Only hands.
Hands.
Sema's going to throw hands with some of these separatists. Volcanic disruption. Heroic 2. Gather readings from volcanic evaluation system. So there's this. The daily area. The daily area, I think, is mostly this area outside. So you're sort of like running around doing things out here. There's the Savrip Droid Buster is out here in the plains area. The world boss is just out in an open area in the northeast. There's other entrances where you got to go, acquire Panther cage access codes. Definitely keep an eye out if you want to get the 10 dailies done. I don't think there were 10 on the board. So it either takes 2 days. I didn't count it up. It either takes 2 days or you get like the 7 off the board and there's 3 more that you can get out in the open area. You may be able to get it done in 1 day.
I'd be kind of surprised if they made it where you couldn't do it in 1 day.
Yeah. But that did exist in the past. IOCAT was famous for that.
I feel like they progressed beyond that.
Right.
They learned.
So hopefully they have. So Quinn is asking, is it like IOCAT? Do you have to come back to finish the weekly? I don't think so, but you can't get all the dailies off of the board. So I haven't done the math yet. Adding 7 plus, I only found 2 so far out there, and I didn't count how many were on the board. So I don't know. Count them up. Somebody count them up. Chat room, if somebody tells us, we will yell it out. We'll yell it out, and we'll give you credit for being so smart about it. World Boss. I don't know if you guys saw any of the videos of the World Boss. Oh, actually, here, let me bring up my video. So I fought the World Boss, and the World Boss won. But I think, and actually there's a video on YouTube, you can look it up right now. The World Boss is soloable, which I'm a little disappointed in. I think these should probably be a little bit more difficult.
I mean, yeah, is that like a pattern now? Is that how it's going to be?
Right, because the one on Runic is soloable. It takes a while, but here you can see I'm shooting it. You'll watch me get it down to 77%, and I died because I was messing with I let the companion die, and then I was messing around trying to res my companion, and I didn't realize I'm not allowed to. You are not allowed to win. So I don't let your companion stay in the fire. The fire kind of killed her really quick. Without that, I definitely would have finished the fight, soloed it. No problem. Even without my companion, I possibly would have been able to solo it just with self-healing. It's not doing all that much damage. You can see here, Lana's definitely healing me quite a bit. But even after Lana dies, I only died because I stopped healing or doing anything while I was messing around trying to click my res companion button. The audio, did I leave audio on this fight? Let me see if I can turn the audio on, because the audio is kind of fun. Say the thing. Say a thing.
Do not avoid the peaceful coexistence beam. You will be eradicated.
So the voiceover of what you're hearing, let me go back to the beginning of the fight, is kind of that sales pitch
Cannon fodder of the
of what's the not R4, what's the Odessan operation, the Zerka Odessan operation. Duxon. So in Duxon, when you're getting that sales pitch for the Apex Predator, the Apex boss droid at the end, you're kind of getting this. So this is the FR3D0M droid, the Freedom droid. It's a separatist droid, but you're sort of getting the audio sales pitch over the top. So here I'll start the fight, and you'll hear the sales pitch start as well. So here you go.
Greetings, foolish grunts of the Republic and cannon fodder of the Empire. Prepare to be converted to the cause of freedom.
The purification beam. Please do not avoid the purification beam.
Do not resist.
Our forces believe in peace. Do not resist. So I like that. I like that theme. I like that sales pitch voiceover. I liked it for Apex Predator. I like Arya's whole pitch throughout all of Duxon. I like that sort of mixed in. So I think it's fun. It does talk about the purification beam of friendship or whatever that's just trying to blast you in the face with. But yeah, as you can see here, it's not too tough. It's not even a giant droid. It's not even all that big of a droid. So maybe it's not intended to be some big, giant, hard thing. And if you wanted to just come here with a few friends, it would make sense to do that. It's kind of a challenge. I don't think it's made to be done solo. But
it's certainly not like the droid boss on Ossus.
It's not even like the droid boss on Coruscant.
Right.
Which the very first world boss you get to on the Republic side, which will kill half your group if you have people in 340 gear.
Yeah, I did that on Shea Vizsla this morning, so I can talk about that and the difference between SD0 and the first.
So here I've got it down to 70%, and I'm just letting myself die because I would click. I could not res Lana Beniko because I am not a healer apparently, and I guess he can't do that anymore. So that was a little disappointing to me. But yeah, so world boss. So what were you saying about you did it on Shea Vizsla?
Yeah.
World bosses in general?
Yeah, which is, it's funny because,
at least a few people.
Yeah, and since
4.
it was a small group, so there was plenty of time to run. It took us a while, so there was plenty of time to run back.
Right.
And get killed again.
But that fight, because it's so weird and nobody knows, it's there's 2 people get a beam that connects them, and there's 2 different colored beams. And one of the beams you run together and stand on each other, and one of the beams you run apart.
So
and which is which?
Here's how I think it works now. Is like one of them is a beam, and one of them is just a circle
2 markers
on you.
Okay.
A marker, and on the beam, if you get as far away as you can from each other, the beam will disappear, and then you don't die.
Okay.
And then
so
the
you
other
need
thing
to spread out the beam.
I think. And then the other thing, which is just like a red runic circle thing that appears on you, Um, I don't
Target
think
marker.
you can. I don't think you can range that. I think what you need to use a defensive and be in range of healers to survive that.
Maybe. I
I
thought there
don't.
was one that you like stack and it
I don't
shares the damage or
know.
negates the damage.
Maybe that one is it, but I know I managed to survive that one once.
Yeah, Lana got one shot in the fire there. So you really would have to like be tricky with your companion management if you're going to solo this fight. But you can kind of do that because the fire circles drop on you. So I got into a little bit of trouble because he jumped to me and then Lana ran over and then the circles dropped as well.
Yeah, SD0 Quinn says is like how many yards are in a mile? Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. Do you run together or do you run apart? Nobody knows. How many yards are in a mile? Nobody knows. That's a callback to Nate Bargatze on SNL, one of the most amazing SNL sketches of the year, the George Washington, Nate Bargatze. Go look it up. 5,280, of course. An easy to remember number. Well, how many yards are in a mile? Nobody knows. Well, spell Fahrenheit. It's impossible. Anyway, World Boss is a thing. So yeah, I agree. World Boss is fun. Let's tick off a couple of the other things because they're out there. They're things that we can talk about. Cinematic lighting update. This is something that will just be nice, but I haven't noticed it. Have you guys noticed it?
Well, I think earlier I was thinking about this when you said it's dark here, but I think that's very mitigated by how the lighting works.
Well, this
in
is
town.
cinematic lighting. So this is within the cutscenes, within the cinematics.
Oh, no, you're right. I haven't really.
You'll come in and out of shadows better, and that will, I think it's even retroactively shows up in some of the old cutscenes as well. So I think
Gotcha.
it's sort of like inserted into there for this
I
one.
do remember when they were talking about that on the stream now.
Just the straight up dynamic lighting in the game, that's still relatively new in the past year or two, I think in the past year. It's one of those sort of effects that they've been adding in over time, the infrastructure updates. I think that that's visible, and you get a lot of it here in town. Like here, you could see the red lighting on the ground. There's these bright lights and the dark lights. There's different, the color palette. That's one thing. The color palette here is much broader than almost any other planet. Now that you make me look at it, Sema's making me look at it.
Very colorful.
Like here's a yellowish light, here's a reddish light, here's a bluish light, and they're all kind of like mixed together. Whereas a lot of other planets you get to, and the color palette is very flat. It's like everything's kind of like shades of yellow, or everything's shades of blue, or whatever the case may be. This in town is quite dynamic.
Everything is Jedi brown.
Yeah, I do like that. So that's pretty cool. Other things definitely on their list. Life Day. So Life Day is back. So this also gets to Shea Vizsla. Have you done any Life Day on Shea Vizsla?
I thought it was starting next week.
Oh, yeah.
But no, I
Starts on the
haven't.
12th.
I
I haven't either.
There's a
and I
little
haven't
discussion.
hugged 1,500 Wookiees either.
Is it 75,000 Wookiees this year that you got to hug?
We'll see.
I don't
I guess
think
we'll know.
I'm done. And did those reset? I guess I could look in my achievements. So if people aren't familiar with Star Wars, in their holiday event, the Life Day, there are Wookiees. It's because it's a Wookiee holiday. Life Day originated. They are in some of the public areas, like on Nar Shaddaa, on Mak Shah, and a couple other places. And if you walk up to them, you can stand right in front of them, and you get a little extra action button that pops up, and there's a hug animation, and they hug you back, and it's a sort of like a cute little hug a Wookiee for Life Day. Well, there is an achievement for Life Day to hug some incredible number or large number of Wookiees, and then the next year, the next Life Day, they made it even more Wookiees for part 2, and the Wookiees that you hugged from part 1 didn't count. So I had to keep
But what's
hugging
weird
more
about
Wookiees.
that is, like, since I didn't finish the first year, now I have some progress against the first year and the second year total.
Right.
That doesn't seem
Right.
fair to the people who did it. And so they have to hug 2,500 Wookiees, and I feel like I only have to hug 1,500.
Well, right. They had to start over to do the next. It's 1,000, I guess. No,
It's 1,000
1,500.
1,000 and 1,500, yeah.
So is 1,500 new or is 1,000 what it
1,500
was?
was new, yeah.
Yeah, so it's 1,500. They didn't bump it beyond 1,500.
Not yet.
I'm at 53 of 1,500, so you can tell that I
Wow.
really spent a lot of time
Well, so
focused.
you've gotten,
Slacking.
you've gotten some credit even before you finished the one before, which is how they all work that are
Right.
stacked like that. But
Right. So if I hugged the 1,500, I would get the 1,000, even though I'm 371 of 1,000 as well. So
yeah,
you do double up
yeah,
at this point. It's not
yeah.
like you start over each one. So yeah, nothing.
So next week when it starts, we'll find out if there's like a
Well,
new.
yeah, we'll find out if they're going to beyond 1,500. 10,000 Wookiees. Yeah. Hope not. Well, I don't care. Fine, do 10,000. I hugged 53 out of 1,500, so you could make it 1 billion and it's not going to affect me. So there's that. Let's see what else. We talked about the GTN. So I think you're an expert on the GTN updates, Stask, aren't you?
Oh yeah,
Tell me
I've really
about
been
it.
in
Tell
there
me
a
about
lot.
those
It's
5 minutes before the show started. Did you guys spend time here? It's like, give me 5 minutes while we're.
I do want to at some point in the future do a deeper dive on the GTN changes, but yeah,
Especially
don't
with
really
how
have a
it
lot
feels to start listing things and to start playing
Mhm.
the GTN. But yeah, how's it looking at first glance?
I was really confused at first how it was set up because they do the item and then there's a number in the item, which I thought was how many were for sale, and then the listing price is. It just took me a minute to figure out that the listing price is the average price that item is selling for, and the
Right.
number is how many listings there are for that item. So you won't get a one line for every listing of an item.
I don't think it's an average though. I think it's the lowest.
Is it the lowest?
I think
Yeah.
that's.
See, what do I know?
Yeah, I think that's what you're gonna get. What you can buy at out of
Well,
the pool of all.
if you want to
listed
buy
credits.
1,000 of something and there's only 2 of them for 50 credits, then you'll get 2 for 50 credits, and then 998 for the next price up. So
But
like
they
if you-
won't take all your credits without. I thought they said they wouldn't take all your
they'll
credits.
tell
without
you
confirming.
they'll tell you what you end up paying, before you click it. But so like I noticed I clicked on a trade, some kind of crafting material, and it was 10 credits, and then I said, okay, how about if I buy 1,000, and then it was 2,500 credits each. So there was like,
Right.
it still matters what people post and for what. You can't just get infinite number for the lowest price.
Right. I spelled
Okay.
superior wrong. Yeah. But it is much easier to buy stacks of stuff, and to buy if I need 50 med packs and they're all put up in stacks of 1, I can now buy 50 all at once, which is nice.
Right.
There's
Or
a
if you just want 1, you don't have to buy 50 because that's what somebody posted.
Right. And the other
Correct.
way as well. And
there's
so
a most popular button on there too, where you can see what is really selling, which
Yeah.
I think is good for people that are putting stuff up a lot.
Oh, interesting.
It's a good
See what's
idea. I
moving.
don't.
So
It seems like when you and I pushed it, we both got different. Yeah, that's what I got. Prototype Hurricane Crystal. I don't.
Why would that be most popular?
Maybe it's
Grade 11. Well, it's a grade 11
okay.
gemstone.
Maybe what they're saying is that this is 3 pages of the most popular stuff, but it's sorted by price.
it
Yeah,
could
it's
be.
definitely sorted by price. So yeah. So maybe that it's not saying that that's the most popular, but these are the most popular items. And it is a grade 11 crafting material. So the most expensive, most popular item is Artifact Lustrous Bondar crystals. which is
would
a
make
grade 11
sense.
power crystal. So yeah,
So
this
let's
is
go
all
with
grade
the
11 stuff. So this is the kind of thing that the crafters would be trading back and forth, and makes sense that it would be the
they don't
popular things.
they don't have a way to measure how long something stays up on the GTN, do they? Like that might most popular might be how much stuff is moving of that particular item.
Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they do yet, but they do have they do have the medians and the historic prices and the sales data, but I don't think they're saying like how long listings are tending to last.
It's interesting that you can set something as favorites. Like if you are buying legendary embers every day, you can set that as a favorite and then hit the favorite button when you want to look at listings.
Also,
Right.
very nice. That's really useful. There were a few things that when I was doing a lot on the GTN, I did have a set of X number of things. What I did is I lined up one of each of those things in the inventory of my GTN character, and then I could shift click on it and it would pop in and I could do the searches easier, but I had to like keep them around. Having just them favorited in the UI is great. And then they also added in the thing where if you buy something off of the GTN, it's claimable within the GTN UI. It's no longer go to your mailbox and grab it out of there, which I think is good. Is there a countdown though, a timer where you lose things?
Oh my gosh.
I want one purchase, securing purchase from the GTN. Claim one. Yeah, it doesn't say. Yeah, it doesn't. I don't see like it's going to expire, which was also nice. Although you only get 20 slots, and that can be expanded with cartel coins to add additional 10 Galactic Trade Network spots.
So you could buy the thing on your character that you have parked on the fleet if you wanted to, and then claim it by another character that's so that you don't have to go.
I don't
You don't
know
have to
if
go where a GTN is.
I don't know if this claim if the GTN interface is legacy or if it's per character. I don't know.
Well, we will.
Gonna have to
Find out.
science that up. Somebody science that up.
Crafting mats, you could claim it on the tune, and then it would go into your mats inventory.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah.
But like a bind like a yeah, I don't know. Like if you wanted to buy a few things for a starting character, so you just like buying things, having them in your inventory, and then roll a new character and just have them hit a GTN and be able to claim a bunch of stuff out. I don't, it's not like you couldn't put it into legacy storage. It's not like you're buying anything that would be bind on pickup. So it's
Except for with a
just
new
saves you a
character,
step.
you can't get to a stronghold or the fleet until level 7, whereas maybe you could hit this claim button.
You can go to your stronghold, but your stronghold might
Oh,
not have
that's
a legacy
true.
storage. in
Yeah,
it if you're too
it
new. Like on
probably
Shea
does, though,
Vizsla, you
yeah.
might not have legacy storage even if you
No,
have.
you do
No,
because
you do. If you've got a
yeah.
stronghold, you've got it.
Yeah.
You're right, because you get that. It's part of unlocking. Anyway, good updates. I think good to see them doing that kind of update in general. And I know they're potentially even going to do more. So that's something that we will watch with great interest. Gear. Let's talk about gear. Have either of you gone and visited Hyde and Zeke? Zeke and Hyde?
I have, but I haven't really pulled the trigger yet because I want everyone around me to make the mistakes first, and then I will be educated from their experiences. I did upgrade my one of my implants as far as I could with the currency I had.
I kind of had the same thought in mind that I wanted to not just Hyde and Zeke. I'm going to unlock that stuff anyway and get the moddable gear up to 340. It's not going to be 344, but it's going to be 340. But what people are choosing to spend, what the sort of the strategy is for where you're going to spend your tech frags first. Should you upgrade your implants first? Should you buy the earpiece first? Should you spend all the tech frags to get your pieces upgraded? Should you start upgrading Ricotta pieces to 344 with tech frags?
The reason
I want
I
other people to
started
work
with the
that out.
implant is because it worked exactly like that way it worked before, and I could understand it easily, and I thought I was going to do it anyway, so it seemed like
Yeah.
a low probability that it was the wrong move, so I did it.
Right. You're gonna do
And
it
I didn't
anyway.
want to hoard my my currencies because I was maxed out on them. I want to start the process of getting more.
Right. Right. How about you, Stask? Have you started your upgrades? I know some people
I
have.
I have upgraded as much as I could yesterday. I think I went 2 jumps in my legendary implant on
Yeah.
my tank, and that's all I could afford with
Yep.
tech frag, so I
Same here.
tapped out.
And what about the Zeke and Hyde mods?
I haven't gone to them yet.
Okay. I
I
did
went and looked
notice.
at them.
I think Machete posted a picture as soon as the servers came up, and there was like a crowd of 20 people huddled around Zeke and Hyde. I went straight for the story. So I haven't been to Seek and Hide. I haven't been to the vendors. I'm almost to the cap. I'm going to have to worry about tech frags shortly, but I had a little bit of margin, but not much. I'm almost at the cap on all of my currencies. I'll go there pretty soon, but I wanted to get into the story and get through the story. And I still want to finish talking to Lane Vizsla. I wanted to see the world boss. So that was my priority. So that's where I've been so far this week. But I like the having the gear changes. I mean, what are you guys' thoughts on that in general? Do you like that they're had gear changes, that they're doing gear changes? Do you not like that?
It's something to do. Like now I'm going to care about tech fragments, and instead of just popping into the fleet to buy stuff to, to avoid hitting the max. Same with OP1s and I guess conquest commendations. I don't know which currencies are going to be the most affected, but it's kind of cool to have, a reason to have them other than,
Right.
just selling things.
Sorry, one. Oh, jeez. Oh, we gotta pause for just a second.
Uh-oh.
Intermission.
My disk drive on this PC for
Oh, no.
recording ran out of space.
Whoa.
Craziness.
That's
Sorry.
Wookie move.
Wookie? Did you say Wookie move?
Wookie mistake.
Yep.
Wookie mistake. Yeah, I didn't even think about that on this new this new PC. All right, so we're gonna have to.
Do you know why broadcasters have small hands?
Why is that?
We pause for station identification.
We pause.
That one's free.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Give me just a sec more.
Yeah, it's your fault for not hugging enough Wookiees there, Max. That's why your disk drive ran out of space.
Okay. How are we doing?
I learned that from eFlux.
Oh, it's
This is
science.
crazy. All right, I freed up 40 gig. I had to nuke something, but
Oh.
and now I gotta hit record again.
I hope you didn't delete our payroll records.
Check.
There's
Okay.
40 gigs worth of payroll on there.
Fun video. This is so on the YouTube. This is gonna be it. You guys are gonna still be seeing this little fun thing that just happened. But now I got all the recordings continuing. I'm gonna have to edit that up separately. But the YouTube will just get it. Woohoo! Good. Watching the sausage get made there. That's a problem for future Max. Clearing out disk space. But yeah, so I like that we have gear to chase after. I like that we have gear changes. That's a kind of thing that I get into. I think it's an RPG, the RPG part of MMORPG that we need from time to time. I haven't heard a lot of frustration over the gear cap going up. Have you guys at all? Has that come up?
Over it going up?
Yeah. Like, and
No.
now, why are you making me grind out more gear again? Blah, 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 blah. I haven't heard that kind of frustration can come up from time to time when gear changes. I haven't heard that a preponderance of that kind of feedback at this point, which I think is good because everybody should be excited about, both more power, which
Right.
I think is always fun for everybody, and for two, something to do with the gear to get the RPG, get the progression. It's been a while
Well,
since we had some fun progression like that, so that I like it.
yeah, and I think the people that might complain about that, I tend to not go places where I would hear from those people. So I
Yeah.
don't think I would hear that anyway if the grumblings are going on. But that's probably the big balance in the MMOs is finding that sweet spot where you're dangling the carrot and you're getting people to chase gear, but not so infrequently they're getting tired, right? Because
Yeah.
how long were we stuck at 306 for? Felt like that was 2 years,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, it was quite a
A
while.
long time. And now we've even in 7.0 we've had a couple of ceiling raises.
I saw a guy on here in this village, and his gear was really cool. And I was looking at it, and I'm like, oh, but he was 306. I'm like,
Yeah. Well, cosmetic though.
I had a judgment on that person.
Noob, did you like go and yell at him and like tell him that you're going to kick him out of the group? Vote
Well,
kick
if
and say noob.
I
and
did
yell?
want to know what his outfit was, but I didn't bug him about it.
And now you're too much of a noob for me. Did you ban him from your OnlyHands chat room? Probably.
Backhanded him.
And as Eflux mentions, yeah, getting especially people that aren't done with R4 or aren't already, have vet mode R4 on farm in, 320 gear, which, the pros can do. The rest of us wouldn't mind a few more
I think the
bits of
gear
power.
will help us on the bosses that we are doing the mechanics okay. Then we'll just be getting them down a little
Right.
faster, and they'll have a little more time for Lady Dom where we don't really.
We could
aren't really
probably start doing like vet mode IP with the higher gear because we know that fight pretty
Right.
well, but we
I
wouldn't
don't
have
know
the
because
DPS to get the
that is a
timer.
DPS race.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So that's a thing where we would need more gear to get
Yeah.
through the DPS check.
Right.
It is slightly more difficult, and the
I
mechanics are
thought you were going
slightly
to
more
say
difficult
maybe
as
we
well.
could do other heroics that we typically don't even
Yeah,
mess around with, like
yeah, we could get into master modes of like definitely. Well, I think we'll see what we're gonna do tomorrow for our ops night, but where we all want Rakata gear now, so that we can upgrade those pieces and see what starts dropping because we can potentially get to 344. Because with hide and seek, you can only get up to 340, and you need the OP1 catalysts, and the Rakata pieces to upgrade to get to 344 beyond hide and seek. So hide and seek aren't the pinnacle anymore for us. Whereas before, only vet mode R4 was the only place that those vet mode, elite 1%ers could get gear above the 336 cap or whatever we were at. I don't even remember anymore. It's been a day. I'm done. That's yesterday's
your
gear cap.
personal hard drive is full also.
Yes. So yeah. I like it. I'm glad that we have it. So I'm glad to have gear to chase. Anything else? Oh, one last thing. Have either of you done anything with the new dies yet?
I'm afraid.
I haven't even bought them. I
No, I
almost
haven't
pulled the
either.
trigger yesterday, but I just couldn't. What are they? 1,700 for the black ones?
Yeah. It's a tough sell because it's it's 1,700 or 2,500 coins for the two, the chrome and white, for a consumable, a one-time use consumable.
Right.
Now, what you should be doing, what everybody should be doing, is finding the set that you want it on, putting it on that set, and then using that set piece, or like putting it on a chest piece that you could use in multiple outfits, and then doing match
Yes,
color
I
in
mean
the
that's kind of
outfitter.
what I mean by afraid. It's sort of like I feel like I should be making a plan, just like you'd outlined, and picking the right piece. And
You're definitely going to want to do that. And I want the red. I want like the metallic red, and that's not out yet. So it's in a tight spot right now. I think they're expensive for a consumable. I think they're super cool, but they're only on the cartel market. So they're costing cartel coins. You're either getting free from your subscription or paying money for. It's a consumable. You can be putting it on something that's somewhat reusable, but it's still a consumable. And they are only going to be up there temporarily until they end up in cartel crates, which is RNG to get them moving forward. These will be super expensive when players do end up getting them out of a cartel crate and being able to put it on the GTN. You thought like Black Die for 1 billion credits was expensive. These are going to be off the charts. However, I'm going to have trouble pulling the trigger because I don't buy very many cosmetic things off of the cartel market. You can see I got a bunch of cartel coins stacked up.
It's blocked. I was just looking too to see what your cartel
Oh.
balance was.
I can move it over. It's behind
See
my,
it. Oh, it's
behind
fine.
my huge
We don't need to
medallion.
know, man. You don't need to share.
50,000. 50,000. I think some of that was refer a friend that SWTOR lined up for us.
Nice.
When the refer a friend was ending, SWTOR did a thing where to sort of share the bounty, put some of the content creators on a list and had people use those.
Oh, that's
Otherwise,
cool.
it's just I barely ever spend them. So this is also just 10 years of cartel coins. What I spend them on is cartel unlock sales, which I know we're looking forward to hopefully getting another one of those before the end of the year.
Be nice.
it's kind of interesting. Like I'm looking at because I wear a black outfit. My outfit is black right now, and when I put the black dyes on, it looks blacker.
It's yeah, it does. Well, because the matte and the gloss do change.
But you
the way
can't
the light
preview
hits
the
it.
gold because it's in a container.
It's in a little box,
Right.
right? I've seen some of the gold used though, and it's super cool.
It is super cool. Yeah.
And again, for people that aren't familiar with it, this is a cosmetic system where you can dye your gear. But what they've done is, and if you're familiar with how graphics engines work, they've added the metallic and the specularity features of how the textures can reflect light. And they've tweaked those so that they can put it into a dye pack then that you can apply to your armor. And what would have been a traditionally flat piece of armor now can become pearlescent or become really like metallic and reflect the light in new and interesting ways. And it looks really, really good, especially for an older game engine like this. It looks really good. The tech being in there is going to be really interesting because now they can start applying this tech to other things. And I bet we're going to start getting mounts that have like the pearlescent metallic textures on them and other things in the game like that. So that's going to be really cool too.
What about Force Ghost companions? Do you think we'll get some
Black
metallic-looking
metallic Force Ghost.
Force Ghosts?
Well, they're like the red metallic glowy armor on a Force Ghost Darth Mar. Let's do it.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Take my money.
Yeah. All right, so 7.4 is looking really fun. I think it's great that they got it out when they did. Oh, we didn't confirm that Sema and your estimate, or we didn't announce that Sema guessed correct again.
Yeah.
In fact, Jackie was out there saying she heard Sema guess back when Jackie knew what the date was. It was like, oh, yeah, how did she do that? Again, she knows. Sema does. Do not, no, don't bet against Sema. So Sema, what's the stock market going to do tomorrow?
Right.
Well, let's see. There's going to be a new drop on Tuesday of the stock market. No.
New drop. So yeah, it needs to be like dates. What's the date? Yeah. What's the date that the stock market will hit bottom? That's what Sema will have to predict.
It'll be right after I spend money on the stock market.
Well, that's typically how that works. Yes, I have done that. I think I decided to retire, and the day
Yeah.
after that, the whole economy tanked and the stock market dropped 20%.
I decided to retire, and then the stock market, and then I started working on my performance review
Yes,
because
Like,
I'm not retiring after all.
wait a minute. Yeah. All right. So 7.4 looks really good. We may be doing a little bit more work on Star Wars: The Old Republic and trying to have some more talk about Star Wars Republic coming up in the next week or so. Keep an eye on our feeds and in our Discord, and maybe you'll get some hints as what that might be once it gets closer. I hope we can continue to see great things as we move into the next year. We are seeing the fruition of the cadence and the planning and the execution that both Keith and Eric and Jackie have promised. I think we're really seeing that come land in a really interesting way from Broadsword. So great job from that team.
Sure.
We hope to see more going into early next year and get more of the story. So we're not spoiling the story today. Maybe we'll spoil the story in a couple weeks when people get things fleshed out. We do have a spoilers channel in the AIE Discord, or you can use spoiler tags in the New Overlords Discord if you want to chat about it. Because as I said, I am done and I have thoughts, mostly good, how it's fun, but also what else I want to see out of the story in the future as a result, which is fun. All right. I think there's more, though, that we've played this week, haven't we?
It looks like meat's back on our menu, boy. No way. God, finally. I kind of like the mango bread.
Let's go around the horn. One of the things that I know both of you played, so we can touch on, and I have not so much, but Sema, why don't you start with Shea Vizsla just to continue the SWTOR talk for a little bit?
So on Shea Vizsla, I it's funny how every day there's something new that I realize, oh, I'm so used to X and now I don't have X. But one of the big things I've noticed is, I mentioned this last week, is like bounty contract week now is meaningful to me. But also I've noticed too that I look forward to like the login rewards because instead of just letting them accumulate forever and then saying, okay, what am I going to do with this? Yeah, I'm like, oh, look, a little mastery stem. I'll just click on that,
Right.
And I'm doing Galactic Seasons, not that I think I'm going to finish it, but it's fun to get the rewards from the track. And right now I have 5 characters on Shea Vizsla.
Really?
Yes. I was going to only do, because here's what motivated me. We'll see how long this lasts. It probably will last forever. Was Heroic Moment. And now I have one character through chapter 3, and now I have one ability in Heroic Moment, and I'm like so pleased with myself. And what's nothing as cool as it was my shadow that I got through chapter 3, and the ability that I got is one that she doesn't have in her spec. So not only can all my other characters now throw pebbles, but she can too.
Right.
And I just really like that.
Shadow, not a consular, not a.
And she's a consular. She's not a tank. She's not a tank spec. Yeah. And the reason so that's why I had 4, because I picked the 4 abilities that I missed the most.
Yeah.
And then I thought I would level those characters. Well, then, because I've been doing Galactic Seasons, last week there was a Galactic Seasons target that was 15 quests for 15 missions for Scoundrel or Bounty Hunter. And I already have a Trooper, so I didn't want to do Bounty Hunter, so I did a Scoundrel. And then this week, there's one for Sith Warrior and
Night.
Jedi Knight, and I'm like, I haven't done it yet, but I'm probably like on Sunday or Monday, I probably will make a Jedi Knight and just run around and do, well, 15 quests. It takes a while to do 15 quests. I mean, that's like the whole planet of Tython and into Coruscant, right? Because a bunch of things don't, I mean, like it's a bunch of things that you do, and that ends up counting for one story, one quest. But
Well, if you
So-
do the exploration missions, though, you can pick up. I
yeah,
don't
but
know if
they're all
there's 15 of them on Tython, but
yeah, but they also have like multiple parts. A lot of them do. But yeah, you're
yeah.
right. And you can do the, I mean, actually, if I was smart, I would do it now, and then I would get to a point where I could do the heroic, and I would just do that every day to get a few in there too. But anyway,
if you
There
do, for
is
people that
there
don't
is
know,
also the Serenity Your Passion is up, which is Counselor Inquisitor. They give us
Ah.
2 of those this week.
yeah. So I've been, like my shadow has been doing CZ 198.
Oh, nice.
So
Just do
which
that
is also
twice.
which is also, yeah, I did it twice, which is also a target. And actually, I did Black Hole too, which is like one of my favorite daily. Both of those two are one of some of my favorite daily areas, and it's kind of fun to get there for the first time on the server. So I've done
Right.
Black Hole a couple times and CZ198 a couple times, and now I can do Oricon, which I do like Oricon also, but I don't know if I can do the heroic on Oricon. But
So-
anyway,
That'd be tough.
for people that are
Yeah.
trying to maximize everything, if you do the season, you get cartel coins, right? If you do the season on multiple servers, you get those cartel coins on each of those servers. So I know
yeah,
some people that do the season on every server that they can.
right. And you do that, right, Stask?
I do. Season 6 is going to be interesting because I'm going to have to decide if I'm going to do 4 servers with. But right now I do the 2 North America servers, Starforge and Satil Shan, and also the English-speaking European server, Darth Malgus.
And Eflux
I'm actually-
clarifies that you do need to be subbed to be getting those bonus coins. So
Yeah, the cartel coins are only on the sub track.
Yeah.
But Eflux, I thought there was a conversation where you only have to be subbed at some point during the season. You don't have to be subbed for the entire season to collect them. I think that's what we were talking about in Discord. So
interesting.
you could do 99 levels of the season and then sub before you get the 100th level, and you'd still get all the 2,000 cartel coins.
Interesting.
So
Interesting.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying, because I'm stretched pretty thin doing them on 2 server, and they're actually much bigger objectives when you're low level too.
yeah,
Yeah.
With 80s, you can knock them right on out.
Right.
yeah. I've got 80s on all 3 servers. So, and I'm in some fairly large guilds on those servers, so it's
Mhm.
kind of nice to be able to get a little bit of help. But I mean, it sounds very daunting, and this could be just I'm a lunatic part of it, but it's not really as bad as it sounds.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
No,
I'm-
you're a
I'm-
lunatic.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Both things can be true.
Well-
I'm only 12 points away from finishing off the Teal Shan, and I'll be done with all 3 of them. So,
Crazy.
That's awesome to me. I logged in my sorcerer today, and I just happened to. I went to Dromikaz, and there was a group forming there for the first, and so there's a Galactic Seasons objective to kill the first, and SD0, which is on the hub site on Coruscant. And so I said, okay, well, I'll do this with them, and which was wild, by the way. I don't know why, but the tank was just like running the boss around that little island so that wherever you stood, you couldn't shoot it.
So
Yeah, I had to
line of
keep-
sighting the group.
Yeah. Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then and then after the tank died, then he was just spinning around anyway, because of threat. But we did kill him eventually. It was cool. So I thought my whole theory there was like, I probably will never get SD0 killed, but it's fine. You get XP and conquest points and blah 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 blah. And then on the off chance, and so then I logged in over on the other side, and I said, I'm going to go to where SD0 is, and I'll just park my character there, and I'll log in throughout the week, and maybe one day I'll find a group. And I ran over there. There was a group getting ready to do them. They saw me run up. They invited me right away. And we
Great.
killed SD0. But it's so
Awesome.
SD0 is so much more challenging than the first.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like your tank unlocked challenge mode for the first. Or maybe he was
Right.
trying to balance the two of them.
Yeah, bring balance. To
Yeah,
the
it
force.
was trying to bring balance, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I think BioWare, because it was BioWare back then, BioWare just likes the pub side more.
So you're
That's
getting, and
true.
I've heard this from a lot of people with Shea Vizsla, and I think that's why it's exciting for a lot of people when we talked about this. You're getting some of that new server feeling, that fresh start kind of feeling. So I think a lot of people are asking, is there any way that Broadsword would consider more fresh start servers? I think that's an interesting question. I'm not
Well,
that excited about
you know
spreading the
what?
population too thin, but
But you know what this is like? It's like DVL in a way. They
Right.
could dream up something like an event.
like the so the DVL event, you were challenged to create new characters. In fact, you had to create eight, yeah, one for each of the original classes, and level them up through their class story.
A bit so like not exactly like DVL, because DVL you still had your legacy and everything that you had built up, but they could make an event where, I don't know, there was a temporary legacy for the server and everybody was in that legacy or something, so that you got that fresh feeling without them having to spin up a new server.
Right. The other part of Fresh Start that I think people are really having fun with, though, is the reset of the economy. So that's something you wouldn't get with an event necessarily.
That hasn't affected me yet, because I haven't tried to sell anything. I haven't tried to buy anything.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
on the GTN. A couple of
interesting.
times I've went and looked at it, and I couldn't. What I was looking for wasn't on it, which is another feature of Fresh Economy. It's not there.
Yeah. Right.
Like-
Another place.
I can't make war. I can't use crafting for conquest because I don't have my crafting high enough, and you have to get mats, like grade 11 mats, right?
Right.
So I think early on, I went to look at the GTN to see if you could buy those things, and it was too early. But you probably can now.
So, but this idea of fresh start, I was seeing a theme in some of the things that you've been doing lately in other games too. Tell us about what you've been doing lately in World of Warcraft, Sema.
So, Season of Discovery. So that is, yes, I have 3 characters on Season of Discovery right now. But that was because most of us, well, no, we're okay. One was a Horde character, one was an Alliance character, and then I kind of got distracted and played my Alliance character. And this is also another fresh start thing, right? Because you have 0 anything. New
Yep.
server, new everything. And it's classic WoW, so everything's super unavailable, super hard, super slow, blah, 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 blah. Which apparently is very addictive. So anyway, I leveled my Alliance character up to level 5. And then I realized, no, I really should work on my Horde character, because that's where most of the guild activity is going to be, because I was just leveling my gnome by myself, right? And then also so I could invite people over there.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I have that character up to like, I don't know, higher than 5, lower than 10, somewhere in there. But still no mount, no, like still not enough gold to pay for all your training, decisions at every point about what you're going to spend. Do you train in cooking? Well, can you afford it?
Well, so what they've done with the Season of Discovery, and the season idea is it's a year-long season, and it's broken into phases. And this is only the first phase, and you're capped at level 25. So although everything's slow and hard, you excel. The end game is there's a shorter runway to the end game. So I thought that was interesting. And then they added in some of these other twists, right? So have you gotten into
Yeah.
like the rune
Yes.
system?
So my two characters on both sides are mages, and they both have the first rune, which is cool because it gives you Ice Lance right away, which is awesome because as a frost mage, you don't have an instant cast anything. Well, you have an instant fire cast, but an instant frost cast for a long time. But now I have one. It doesn't do much damage, but it's instant.
Interesting.
And then the second rune gives you Frost Fingers, which is a proc thing, and I don't have that yet. But
Yeah.
so
Crazy.
I don't think there is. The interesting thing for mages is we're supposed to get a rune that allow us to be healers.
Right. There's some of that, like these runes that create hybrid classes. A rogue that can tank, a mage that
Yeah.
can heal.
A warlock that can tank. And that's
Although
yeah.
this is all like set in classic WoW, and there are other classic WoWs. There's classic, and there's Wrath classic, and this is a new classic WoW season of discovery, new start, but with these twists to the classic that makes it fascinating. It makes that fresh start idea, which is compelling. So it's like on Shea Vizsla, it's like it's any game that's starting from zero. There's fun there, and I feel it every time I do it.
Yeah, Shea Vizsla is fresh start ish.
Right.
You still have some resources, but this is like actual nothing. You got nothing.
Right.
It's fun. And then but also with Wrath, we're also very involved with, so making great progress in ICC. We have the Lich King in our sights. Which
really?
Yes.
Have you pulled him yet?
No, but we're at Sendergosa.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, last time we were in there, we had a couple of attempts on Sendergosa, which I personally was thinking, oh, it's too many bosses ahead of time. Raiding on one night a week will never make it. But our raid leader, Shrimp, he is making it happen.
That's incredible.
Oh, he just said we had a 17% wipe on Sunday, so I didn't even realize we were that close.
That's crazy. Do you think you're going to go all the way? Well, of course you are. What's the date that you are going to kill the Lich King and get his mount, Sema? So yeah,
2 weeks from Saturday. Not. Let me look at the calendar.
Kind of odds can I get on that?
Saturday, the 23rd. We might not raid on the 23rd because Well,
I guess it's the 23rd. There's the Yule Tide.
There's something else coming up, by the way, which is ICC has that sort of built-in nerf. It hasn't kicked in yet, but that thing where it's like 5%. And then
I remember that.
Yeah, so just timing and scheduling and the holidays and people's lives and everything. I'm not sure we're going to get the Lich King before that happens, but we might.
Interesting. Is there an achievement for getting it before that?
I don't know. But we will be Kingslayers.
Well, speaking of other new worlds to adventure in, Stask, how's New World? I should say Governor.
Please address me with my full title. I would appreciate it.
We have a company in New World, and there's a role. The GM of the guild is called the Governor, and I was the Governor, and I would log in every once in a while. I wasn't doing much, although I had a lot of fun as we talked about around the Halloween with that event. But I saw Stask logging in to New World quite a bit, and I said, Stask, good job logging in. Guess what? You are now Governor.
Oh, I wish I had known that's how it works. It's going great. Haven't been in there much lately. I think it's been last week I logged in, but my existence in that game has been mostly gathering. I enjoy the gathering mechanic in there. Just chopping down trees and breaking up rocks, and you get XP for it too. So you just wander around and level up just by breaking stones and
Gathering
some
is
wood.
very satisfying in New World, and that's something that the Lumberyard, appropriately named game engine, is quite effective at. Is all of the different ways that gathering works, and the buffs that you can give yourself to gathering. You can put these special decorations in your house that are trophies that affect gathering, and the amount of rare items that you can gather when you're gathering. Where the nodes spawn in the world is different for some of the advanced nodes, and it's just very satisfying. I think when we talked about it quite a bit a month ago or 2 months ago now, I played the sounds, and when you take that pick and you hit the rock, the sound design is just so satisfying, and it echoes in the distance. Tink, tink. I just love that. So yeah, I agree. That's one of the best parts of the game.
Fun. I actually, that's not all I'm doing. I'm actually questing a little bit in there, and I find it interesting too that each town has its own set of starter missions or mission chain. So as you're going around, you pick up, like I think I'm level 38 or something like that, but I found a new town and I'm picking up like level 7 missions to do, which you still get experience for. But it's another, we're talking about games that look really good. It's another one. I mean, these games look so unreal. I started on the Atari and stuff like that, where it was basically Pong and Pitfall, like how far games have come so far. This looks so real.
Exactly.
Beautiful games. So
yeah, I remember going from monochrome to like 16 colors.
Yeah,
I was like,
it's nuts, right?
OMG, 16 colors. I have 256 on my Amiga. Yeah, good times. But yes, I've always said the Lumberyard engine is one of my favorite. If they can continue to develop to the point where it makes RPGs really good, I would love to see some new games implemented in this engine. Like, I think this would be great for like a Lord of the Rings RPG, MMORPG. I think that would be really cool. It's that kind of feel. Upgrade the Lotro to this would be amazing.
Oh yeah.
So what else? What else you been doing, Stask? So you've been playing every server possible in SWTOR.
Every server. I don't
New
touch
World.
the French one or the German one. I think it's the Leviathan and Tulak Horde. I don't have a presence there because I don't speak French or German. But yeah, it's working a lot.
This is your season
so-
for working hard. I mean, working hours. I
Tis
would
the
imagine.
season.
Yeah. It's super fun, a lot of fun. But there's something else. Been neglecting my PS4. Get to that a little bit. Do some console stuff. But yeah.
What do you like to play? What console games do you like to play?
I do a lot of sporting games, sports ball, some basketball and some baseball.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love Red Dead though. Red Dead 2, I play that on there. I really love that game. So
yeah, that's that. I never played it all the way through, but it was pretty amazing. It was a fun thing.
yeah,
That's a place you could go and live. I mean, if you're into like that Old West genre, Red Dead is one of the most amazing places just to go and like live in a game for a while.
right. Yeah, it's not a good game if you're a completionist though, because I've sunk hours in there and I'm only at like 51% on the game. It's just like, I don't know.
Can imagine. I can only imagine.
Yeah.
It's one of those. Well, I have also been playing plenty of the Star Wars. I'm sorry, was there anything else? I didn't mean to jump ahead.
No, I was just gonna ask Max, what have you been playing these days?
Yeah, there you go. I should
Well
let you do the segue. I've been playing plenty of the Star Wars, and I think we've talked enough about all of that. I've been playing quite a bit of the Ark again. Quite a bit of that. Did I? Oh yeah, here. So what I'm doing in Ark lately, and I'll show this for 2 seconds, is I think I've talked about it. The whole idea in Ark is the dinos in the world are both what you're fighting against, and they become your tools.
Oh my
and
God,
your
that
weapons.
baby moose.
That's what I wanted to show. I figured that would get you. So that's a megaloceros. It's basically an elk moose kind of prehistoric animal. and I tamed a mommy and daddy moose and
And they love
made
each other very much.
a baby moose. And when you breed the dinos, you get the chance to like combine stats in better ways, and you get like extra bonuses because it's something you imprint on the baby. And so you want to be doing that. I've been doing quite a bit of the breeding lately. So here you can see I've got 5 T-Rexes. 2 of them are ones that I raised. I've got the baby moose, which is a special use for one of the kind of like little dungeons that you'll go to. I got a baby bird there because
Well, legit is scary when they look at you like that.
they do. They turn their heads. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
They do. They dip their heads and look at you. So when every time I walk out there and I have this line of T-Rexes that are all like leaning down and menacingly, freaks me out every time I see that. But yeah, it's super cool. So I've been doing plenty of ARC still, raising babies to do more and more advanced things. I'm into water creatures now. I tamed 2 pretty high-end sharks. So I'm gonna have baby shark do over the weekend probably. And then I tamed what's called a Basilosaurus, which is like a whale that I really like because it's pretty docile. In fact, when you tame it, it's what they call a passive tame. You just like need to swim up to it and feed it, but then you need to like feed it every 8 seconds for like 15 minutes. Otherwise it'll get untamed. And then there's other bad dinos that are coming, like sharks and stuff that are coming to try to eat you while you're doing that. So there's quite a challenge, but it just makes the nice mellow sounds when you're out there.
I wish you could lock the various
whale.
things in place.
So you're not
Like
deleting
I'm
things?
just noticing every time you walk up to things, you have a chance to pick it up, like the floor and the wall and the door.
Yes. Yeah. You do. If you get used to the controls, you don't end up destroying things as much because you do have to hold. You have to hold to bring up a radio menu, and you have to hold to do a delete. So I never bring up the radio menu because I'm used to the controls. But the controls aren't, they're. It's an older game, and it was an indie game when it started. It's not an indie game anymore. They've got a lot of funding, but yeah. So yeah.
How does that baby moose support that much antler?
I don't know. It must have quite the neck tendons there, neck muscles. He's got a big, huge rack. If you know what I mean.
Turdy pointer.
And then also, I said I wouldn't be doing this because I wouldn't be leaving my house because I don't leave my house ever. Turns out I had to go leave my house, and I was sitting in a few waiting rooms over the course of the past couple days. I ended up playing a bunch of ArcLight Rumble, and it was fine.
Warcraft Rumble.
Oh, I keep saying ArcLight. You're right. It's not called ArcLight Rumble anymore. That was like their design name. They got rid of the ArcLight. So it's Warcraft Rumble. So I was playing quite a bit of Warcraft Rumble. It's a fine little time waster. I'm not into, like, I'm leveling up just like the little minis that I got first, and I replaced a couple of them, but I keep just like sticking with what I've got and leveling that up further and further. And I keep going further and further and clearing out more maps and doing more daily challenges and things like that. I didn't really see, I haven't gotten like into the strategy of like, this mini is really good at tanking and this mini is really good. So the combo of these 2 minis, if you can get them, like go to the store and like pick them up with your daily coins that you're getting, I haven't gotten into any of that yet. And it's fine. It's still just a fine little time waster. It's like, it's reverse tower defense. You're throwing your little minis out there. They're going up the map. You get used to a little bit of combos kinds of things and a little bit of moving things back and forth on the map, taking over an area that you can drop your minis out further. I got into it, and it was a fine little waste of time. So I don't know. Again, if I ever need to waste time again, that'd probably be my number 1 mobile game that I would do it with right now.
Did you ever play Clash Royale?
No, but yeah, could have. Right?
It's similar. I mean, there's less tower defense in Clash Royale, or it's just 3 towers versus 3 towers. But Yeah,
Yeah.
I lost 2 years because of that game.
And I did unlock PvP in Warcraft Rumble, but I didn't even click that button, and I'm not going to do that. Which I know you can do at Clash Royale as well.
Yeah, well, Clash Royale is all PvP.
Right. This is a lot of PvE, and
Oh,
the bosses that you fight against are fun PvE bosses. They're characters, and they have their own abilities, and it's like a little boss fight when your characters get to the end of the map and that kind of thing. And you have to work out your strategy. And I think in the more difficult maps and the more difficult bosses, you might need to be switching up your minis so that you can have the right mix to defeat what they're throwing at you. Like you might need more AoE in one strategy, and more single target in another strategy, that kind of thing. So yeah, pretty fun. Fun all around. Fun in Star Wars, fun in the Worlds of Warcraft, fun with dinos, fun. We'll see if any of us are going to have fun with Pandora or with the Horizons, with Aloy. There's plenty of fun to be had out there. I know new content has dropped for Baldur's Gate. I know there's updates and fixes continuing to come out for Cyberpunk 2077. I still feel the draw of Starfield, and I will be back in there. This is going to be a fun winter. And I know that there's less releases. I mean, we're getting a couple of them here, but there's less big releases for the next couple months. It's a good opportunity for all of us to ease into that backlog that we all have, which I think is going to be really cool. So I think we'll leave it there for today. Stask, thank you
Stask
Oh,
very
is
much.
2 minutes late to Wednesday night PvP.
it's all right. I've got it covered.
Excellent. Well, we
I
will.
knew you
It
would.
is covered, I should say.
We will wrap it up so you can get over there and you can jump in the queue. If anybody wants to find Stask and find all of us, it's Starforge and Shay Vizsla apparently, but probably Starforge tonight for PvP. AIE-guild.org is the place where you can go to get in our guild Discord. Stask and Machete are running things on Wednesday and Friday. We have our open guild night that Stask sometimes runs as well on Tuesday nights. And then we have ops teams, handful of those running lots of the other nights of the week. Tons of fun. Come check us out there. And then, and just say again your streaming channel, Stask 27.
Yes,
On Twitch?
twitch.tv/Stask27.
Sweet.
Not 26 or not 28.
28 is right out. 27. Catch Stask there as well. I think that's really fun.
Cash me outside.
Catch me outside, bro. For us and everything New Overlords related, all our feed and subscribe links you can find on newoverlords.com. Our video is always on YouTube/newoverlords. Please come chat with us in our Discord, newoverlords.com/Discord. We'll get you right there. You can also follow on most of the major social feeds, Twitter, Mastodon, Blue Sky, Threads, Instagram, and Facebook. And it's usually Max the Gray or New Overlords on those places too. And we'll keep you up to date on fun things going on and maybe some secret projects that are coming up in the next week or two. With that, we will talk to you soon.
Later, everyone. Take care of yourselves.